And it's working and people are loving it, keep giving it to them. But our mentality is we're stuck on the couple of people that we do know that may say, "Oh, I'm tired of it. Oh, I constantly keep seeing you. Oh, I'm tired of posting the same videos over and over. I know they're tired of seeing me." Well, if they're tired of seeing you, that means you need to go to another area of people that haven't seen you. So the more you keep posting, the more you will be able to be in the space that you didn't think you would ever reach, all because you kept growing into that. So when it comes to people, they talk about being viral and being authentic. I always push for you to be authentic, because the one thing about my brother that people think it wasn't overnight success, it wasn't. Nick had been doing this for 3-4 years before that one moment hit, but he never stopped. And in that, he was true to what he presented. If you go to some of his old stuff years ago, it's still funny. It's still in connection. But the thing was, when he found that one thing that blended everything together, it became his authentic self. So if you're trying to go viral, I mean, I'm not going to, stop your drive and your push, but there's going to come a point to where you're going to look for longevity. And I really haven't seen people really succeed long by being fake.
Right.
If you want consistency, if you want longevity, if you really want to be something that people will consistently connect to, then you really need to be authentic and show the people who you really are. Because truth being told, not only will your reach grow, you will find people that will want to connect with you and stay connected because they saw a part of who they are and who you are. So if you're being fake and you're just trying to throw something out there, that's fine. Those people probably won't be consistent. They probably are just in there for that moment. But the ones that you want your ride or dies, they ride or die when they can find something authentic in you that reflects to who they are. And when they can see themselves in you, they want to stay connected to you.
And that's the power of connection through having your brand and your voice and messaging. And one of the things I like about you, hey Whitney, what's up, sis?
Wait.
Uh, Both of us, we've sat down with you before, and I like the way you handled us, because it wasn't like we were just sitting down for consultation for a brand. You talked to us out of a different, how can I say, out of another time, because it was like, yes, we were here physically sitting down talking with you at that moment. However, you were talking to us as you saw us down the road, and you were pulling and extracting so much out of us. Because I think a lot of creatives, we kind of look at things here. We don't we see far, like in vision, but what about the distance of that vision? It's just like for example, I work context. I'm nearsighted, so I can see things at some point, but if it gets too far off, I can see it, but it's blurry. And so where you come in, the things that are far away that are blurry, you bring it into greater focus. And that's one of the things I love about you the most, is how, yes, we can see, but you know how to fine tune, and you show us how to focus so we can see the vision further than just a year out or 2 years out. Because
And I
go ahead.
keep going.
I was just saying, because it's just so your components of how your mind works. I think that's very powerful as a brand consultant and manager.
And one of the things I learned that made what I do is helping a person get clarity. Because even what we were talking about with the church and working in giftings, when you identify what works for you, you have to hold to that and not allow anybody else to try to veer you off to what they think is best for you. And then the best way to do that is to be clear about what it is that you're good at. Finding that one thing that you are strong at, that you're good at, it can be placed in multiple places. When you think about Steve Harvey had a radio show. Steve Harvey hosts Family Feud. I think Steve Harvey, at the time I was thinking about this analogy, he was also the sit-down host for Kids Say the Darndest Things. He was also somebody who had movies, who did books, and then he was doing something else. I think
He's
was
done
had his own
every
talk
pageant,
show.
Miss America, Miss USA, Miss
Everything.
Universe, like.
And guess what? In that, Steve had one thing consistent. He was the same person in every different arena. He was being funny. And when I thought about that, even though it may be a different type of industry, He was that one person of being funny. He took his funny and he took it to radio. He took his funny and he took it to television shows. He took his funny and he took it to now hosting Family Feud and then putting it into books, then putting it into movies. He was the same person. If you don't identify with who you are and you get clarity with what your superpower is, it will be hard to go into these multiple arenas. We mess up because we try to be in the multiple arenas not being sure of who we are.
Or so being a different person for each arena.
Correct. So how can people be consistent with us and we're not even consistently ourselves? What does that come from? And I think so many people want to, as you just said, want to be viral. They want to get out there, but they don't want to build that consistency. There are 3 C's, there are 4 C's really that I teach on. And if you get clarity, you will then build the confidence, and from that confidence, you will build consistency. And when you be consistent, you'll then build your community. If all of those things come into play, but if you're not get clarity, you're not clear about who you are and what you can do, and build that consistency in it, it's going to be hard for people to want to trust you. They want to be able to use you. You've got to be consistent. And I'm sorry, we want things that are quick. And when I think about sometimes I used to watch some of these, and I'm no shade to them, but I used to see these people that I want to be a millionaire overnight, so join my masterclass. You want to know how to get this growth, join this, join that. And I'm like, that's great. But here's the question I had to ask myself. Baby, if I can't even manage the 1,000 that I'm doing right now, why am I trying to get to $1 million overnight? That's not going to make any sense. I need to know how to consistently manage the $1,000 or the multi-$1,000 that I'm getting in. If I can't manage that, why am I trying to run to become an overnight success? That's not possible. So building that consistency, being clear, and getting that confidence and building that consistency, that's when that community begins to grow. So don't look to try to do things so quick. I run from that now. I used to do things quick with some of my clients. I used to be like, come to me and I'll rebrand you in a week. We'll do your logo. We'll do your website. We'll do all this stuff. And Camille, can I tell you that within a month or 2, I will go back to their stuff and they would have changed it. And I kept saying, dang, was I wrong? And guess where it was? I wasn't wrong. Because I'm getting ready to try to help a person put something that the world needs. And I'm getting ready to put this thing together in a week. That makes no sense. It takes time to remove the clutter from your brain, to be clear about what it is that you've been called to do on this earth. So that's why I say, if you're listening, whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to do, put out there, make sure that you put time in that equation and that you are clear about who you are and what you're doing so that your audience knows what they're connecting to. When they know that, they'll be able to trust you. And not only will they trust you, they'll tell somebody else. And because we're friends, if I tell you about a restaurant, you're not going to go research it. You're going to be like, I trust you, we friends. I'm going to go and taste it without even looking it up. That's the best type of marketing still, is word of mouth. But that is also undergirded with trust. So be consistent.